So Ollie, we'll start with Stable Staff Week. Obviously your staff are very, very important to you from top to bottom. You've got some really excellent members of staff. You've also just had Miller Cotton and Gerald Tumity join you. You must be sort of really excited about those sort of joining the team and sort of adding to what already is a really good bunch of young people.
Yeah, and I've been very lucky since the day I started training. We've had a real good bunch working with me and behind me. Most of them have been with me since I started. And as you said recently, Miller Cotton has started. She's loads of experience. She's worked for Ben Pauling and John Ferguson for an awful long time. She's going to do kind of lots of different things. She'll be in the office doing plenty of racing, looking after owners, social media side of stuff as well. So great to have her on board. And there's lots of people know Gerald Tumity. He's actually a good friend of mine as well, so it's funny how things come around that he's coming to work alongside myself and Ed Telford, my other assistant. He's obviously ridden plenty of winners. He's got a lot of experience in the industry, and hopefully it just shows where we're trying to go as a team with him joining the team.
And talking of staff, you know, they've really got their work cut out next week, because you're getting in the sort of best part of 50 plus horses, which you've already got plenty of horses in at the moment. You're sort of adding to those, and you must be really excited to get some of those horses that you bought from the sale, some of those horses that were nice novices last year, nice bumper horses. You must be excited to get them in, get them working, and obviously get them onto the racecourse.
Yeah, no, I can't wait. I can't believe how quickly it's come round. Obviously the weather at the moment's been unbelievable. They've had a great time out at grass. It's been really interesting having a look at the young horses develop over the last 6 or 8 weeks, and as you said, there's 50 plus horses coming in on Monday, so it's some really exciting times. Lots of nice novices for this year. I think we counted on the board the other day, we'll have 31 or 32 novices to go jumping hurdles with this year. So yeah, no, it's really exciting. And just going back to staff, that everyone's had their holidays, and I've been real lucky in who I've employed and who's worked around me since day one. And it is Stable Staff Week, and the whole list on the ship can't be said without having good staff behind you.
And with going back to sort of the 55 sort of plus horses you're getting in, you've mentioned there's some nice novices there. You like you say, you obviously ran some really nice bumper horses last year, and you've had some big owners support you. You know, is there? It's difficult to name one horse to pick out, but have you got one horse in particular you're excited about seeing? I know that puts you on the spot, and obviously lots of owners in the yard. But you know, is there a horse there, or a handful of horses there that you could really think, you know, I feel like they could be a Cheltenham type, you know, a really good quality horse like that?
Yeah, I suppose I've a lot of nice young horses which have run well in bumpers or won bumpers, but I suppose the obvious one's probably Brewing Up a Storm. He won a bumper very impressively at Hereford, and the horse he beat that day was Portrush Ted. He obviously went and won the entry bumper after, so his form's very strong. He's done very well for his break, and yeah, he looks really exciting. But plenty of nice bumper winners as well. Finnorm Bourne won a bumper up in air, looked very impressive. Thomas Darby won a bumper in Huntingdon. Plenty of horses were placed at the same time, so some really exciting, and that's without even naming a horse we bought from the sales.
Just looking back through the last week, you've had some horses run really well without having a winner. You've had a couple of seconds, a third. You know, some horses run really well. This lovely lady ran a nice race at Stratford. She looked like she had the chance to sort of go and win, and she just swished her tail in the final furlong. You know, how did you sort of rate that run?
Yeah, it was a good run. I'd say she's still raw and a baby. She lugged in behind, and probably things didn't quite go to plan. They went very steady, and the race wasn't really run to suit, but she ran well, and she's gonna give her syndicate of lads loads of fun. And yeah, no, she'll win plenty of races, and she's been placed in 2 bumpers which won't do her pedigree any harm either.
And Raw Plaza, you know, he's always a good yardstick, isn't he? You know, he always goes down on his shield. Ran a really good race, and you know, I just love watching the way he jumps. You know, he just jumps from fence to fence. He must give Richard Johnson a real thrill.
Yeah, he jumps class, so he does. He'll win again before the season's out. The horse that beat him, Richard Newlands, isn't a bad horse at all, but he ran a great race in defeat, finishing second. So yeah, he ran well. And Candyberg, he had his first run for me at Uttoxeter in a very competitive 2 mile handicap hurdle. He finished third without being knocked around. So I think they're my only three runners last week. It's a quiet time for us. So it is. They all ran well without winning, so they should all be winning a race in the not too distant future.
And have you, out of those 3 horses, you know, what have you got? Have you got plans with them? Candybo, like you say, looked a nice type. Have you got a plan in mind with him, or you just see find your way with him?
I'm half thinking about going to Market Raisin for the summer hurdle with him. The horse that beat him in Uttoxeter, I'd imagine, will be favourite for that race, and I'm not saying we'll beat him in Market Raisin, but we'll finish an awful lot closer to him, so he may well deserve to take his chance there. And the other 2 horses from Stratford, I suppose, we'll just look for a race in 3 weeks' time. They handle quick ground well, so they'll be kept on the go through the summer.
And looking at entries, you've got quite a few horses in at Market Raisin over the weekend. Out of those horses, obviously there's quite a few in there. Have you got any that you know are sort of intended to run?
I'm going to run 4. I'm going to run Yensia, who's trying to go in a hat-trick race on the trot in the novice hurdle. He's been a little star, so he has since he's gone jumping hurdles. He's going to step up in trip. Again, he's going to have a favourites chance, but he's got a double penalty, so life won't be easy. I run a mare called Angel of Harlem, whose mother was actually a good mare for Nicky Henderson, Whoops-a-Daisy. She's having her first run for me since joining me from Mark Bradstock's. Her work is better than her handicap mark. She's a sweet filly, and I'd be hoping she'd go very close. So I would. And then I run 2 in the chase, Dr. Maloney and Muller Boy, 2 good, fun, consistent handicappers who both have each way chances.
And of those, have you got jockeys' plans with them? I noticed Harlem Angel is in. Sorry, Angel of Harlem is in the conditional race.
Yeah, Lewis Stones rides her. Richard Johnson rides Dr. Maloney, and Yensia and Charlie Post rides Muller Boy. So yeah, we'll have a busy enough day on Sunday for this time of year.
And the following Tuesday, you've got horses in at Uttoxeter. I know it's a little bit, you know, further forward, but do you know any of those that are likely to run? I'd
say Mochueka will probably run the maiden hurdle. Again, another horse having his first run for me since joining me from Philip Hobbs. A big angular type of horse. He's an awkward type. He's a mark of 112. He should be good enough to win a maiden hurdle at this time of year, but I thought Peter Burns will also take a lot of beating in the race. So I thought he may be very hard to beat. And then I run a filly in Brighton that hasn't been with me very long on Tuesday as well in a selling handicap, Can't Stop the Rock. She's been very disappointing in Ireland, but listen, it looks a very bad race and she'll have an each way chance as well.
And sticking with the flat, I saw Mizzen Masters in at Lingfield and also at Bath. He's obviously a horse that, you know, that really started, you know, with all those horses when you just had 14 or 15 horses. He was one of the ones that started with you, and you must be pleased to see getting him back in and back on the racecourse.
Yeah, he's been a little stable star, so he has obviously won a couple of races for me when I started out training. He's going to go to Lingfield for a 2 mile handicap on the flat. Looks to have a nice mark based on his hurdle form. So fingers crossed, Jamie Spencer's going to ride him.
Perfect. And finally, Olly, you know, is it coming home? We saw England win the other day. I don't think anyone's got any nails left, but you know, do you think we're going to do it on Saturday and progress further?
I think they've got a great chance of getting to the final. We were actually in Stratford on Tuesday evening watching it. It was great fun up on the big screen watching the penalties. So there's some fingers crossed. There's no bigger football fan than me in racing. So listen, I'll enjoy Saturday and hopefully we can get to the final.